Steve, as you mentioned, lawmakers could be voting on this proposal as soon as Monday, and some people are still asking the question, will this plan take money away from Iowa's public schools? Well, we brought that question to the governor, and we also asked her why this plan is her #1 priority.
We're not looking at a system, we're looking at children and kids and funding them.
There are people that say, without this program, there likely would have been public school students that would stay in their public school, and that $7,598 would go to that public school, and that public school won't be getting that if this program.
Well, they're not teaching the child either. So they're not using, they're not using the resources. The student's not going to be there. It just comes down to the fact that I don't think the school should be deciding the best environment. I think the parents should, whether it's bullying, whether it's, religious things that matter to them. And if you have a child that you believe can be better or, excel in a different environment, then as a parent, you should be able to have that choice. And it shouldn't just be for those that have the resources to do it. That's just not right.
But there are people that continue to say, in this plan at least, there's $7,598. There are people that say that's money that would have gone to a public school, but this program is incentivizing kids to leave the public school system and for that money to leave, and gives public schools money, but $1,200 instead of the $7,600 that they would have received.
We're putting new money in. We're not taking money from public schools. Right now, it's about 56% of our state budget goes to education. We have put over $1 billion of new money into K-12 education since fiscal year 2012. We've put more money in every year. So it's not just about the money. We need to take a look at other things. I believe this will, help all of us be better, and ultimately the goal is to make sure that we're getting the best possible outcomes for the kids, and that's where we need to be focused.
Now, the governor also told me that she is still looking for an outside organization that will be in charge of handling how the funds are transferred to families, and she says there will be requirements around how those funds get transferred. But she also says lawmakers will not have information on what those rules would be and how much it would cost to administer this plan by the time that they vote on the bill. Well, from the State House, Amanda Rooker, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.